Welcome back to another Sebastian story. I'm here with my sweet boy. Oh, thank you, mister. Oh, thank you, puppy. You're a good boy. This is my sweet boy, Sebastian. He's a Cane Corso Italiano that we adopted about a year and a half ago, and we've been raising him to be our pack leader of more rescues in the future. And we've been telling his story to share knowledge, and this week's story is actually about weight management. We've been working pretty hard with Sebastian. When he came home with us, he was severely underweight. He had just fought off a lung infection. He had all sorts of things going wrong. But thankfully, places like Atlanta Humane have such great veterinarians on staff and whatnot that they really took such great care of him. And the rest of it was up to us to help him fill out a little bit more. He was kind of skin and bones when we brought him in. But he's just been a sweet boy that keeps growing. He won't stop growing. We don't even know how big he'll get. He could be Clifford when he's done. We're just not sure. But we're trying to help him do the best he possibly can. And so this week we're talking about weight management. And for Sebastian, that's been partially about putting some weight back on, but then also making sure that he doesn't put too much on. He does have an injured paw. He was previously an abused animal. We don't know exactly what had happened to him, but he has an injury that we have to continue trying to rehabilitate so that he can live with it as best as he can. And part of that is making sure he doesn't put on excess weight and risk injuring himself just from that. So since Sebastian came home, he has been on the Science Diet large breed formulas, the puppy formula, now of course the adult formula. Always measure out his meals. He never gets too little or too much. And what's funny is that, as he came home, just skin and bones to us, we've been able to put a little bit of weight on him. But obviously we need to keep him lean. And so we've been very, very mindful and watching his weight and always weighing him. Thankfully we're at a doctor on a weekly basis with his physical therapy, so we have the ability to weigh him regularly. But it's kind of funny that I've pretty much always been feeding him on the next weight limit up, and poor guy, he keeps growing, but he does not seem to be gaining a lot of weight. I think we're up about 2 pounds in the last few months, and I mean he's just gotten I know you're a big guy now, puppy. You're taking up the whole camera pretty much. So got to make sure you're lean, but got to make sure you're healthy. And likewise, there's lots of pappies out there that may have gotten a little bit too many treats, and they're a little bit bigger, and you just want to be real mindful and follow your feeding instructions on your package. Use a measuring cup and actually portion out your animal's food. So aside from always being mindful of feeding portions and things like that, regular feeding times, consistency. Let the animals have their own kind of internal clock to let them know what time it is, and as long as everything's on a good, consistent schedule for them, it also helps encourage them to be eating the appropriate amounts of food, whether it be whether they're having an issue with too little or too much. There's always a way to find balance. And other things to keep in mind that are directly affected by what you're feeding, their coat. I mean, yes, brushing is of course a very important part of it, but he's always been a nice, soft, shiny boy. And he certainly requires a lot of brushing and a lot of vacuuming, but it's never been hair loss at the rate of anything to be concerned about. He doesn't have bare patches on his skin or anything like that, and his skin is perfectly healthy. Although sometimes a little sensitive, and we just try to be mindful of all of those things too. But if you're having any sort of skin issues on your pappy, you may want to reevaluate what it is you're feeding. Of course, talk with your veterinarian. Always talk with your veterinarian. They know everything because they're doctors. You want to trust them. Do you trust your doctor? Yeah, you're a good boy. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Oh, the big yawny boy. We're having a great time telling these stories, and we'll be back again soon with more. Thanks again.